Hello, welcome back. So a repotting video was requested for my channel. So this is that repotting video. Today I've got a Christmas cactus, I've got a random unknown cactus that I just got from the garden center today. For the third set of plants that I'm going to be repotting today, I have some lithops. They are native to South Africa, they are succulents, and they're used to extremely dry conditions, so I'm going to be making up a different potting mix for them than I do for the rest of these guys. I got this succulent mix, and in this succulent mix there is sphagnum peat moss, horticultural perlite, calcitic limestone, dolomitic limestone, and a wetting agent. So all of these things are great, except for the wetting agent kind of makes me nervous, but all of the mixes had wetting agents. I don't know what's happening, but I've gotten this before. I've had really good luck with it. The only thing that I would say about this is that this uses peat moss. A lot of people prefer cocoa coir because cocoa coir is a lot more renewable. Peat moss has to be mined out of peat bogs, and it's just not as easily replaceable as cocoa coir is. Then I got this sand. It's meant to be a soil cover, but I don't do soil covers. So I'm going to add this to the potting mix to just give it a little bit more drainage, especially with these little lithops here. I really genuinely would like a lot more drainage. I need a lot of drainage with these little guys. I'm scared that they're going to die and get root rot. The last thing that I have is just standard potting mix. I always get the seedling potting mix because I find that I don't have to use any fertilizer, and that's very useful because I have a bad experience with fertilizer and I would like to avoid using it as much as possible. So, seedling mix. I'm starting with my Christmas cactus. As you can see, the pot that I have it in right now is actually a bit taller than the terracotta pot that I'm going to be transplanting it into. Hopefully the height difference won't be a huge issue for these guys. I'm going to do my best to make sure that its root system is not disturbed by the repotting. I know a lot of people like to break up roots when they repot, but I only do that when it's genuinely like root bound. Because if it's root bound, then you just need to give it a little extra push to have the roots growing in different directions instead of staying in that sort of bound up state. Because that bound up state will increase rot, and you don't want that. More height. I'm going to start by pulling this guy out into this mixture because I feel like there's enough room in there, and I'm going to be using about this much of the regular mixture. I tend to use more of this mixture than the succulent mixture when I'm working with my Christmas cactus. So, I'm going to give him a good couple squeezes. We're going to give him hugs so he knows that he needs to come out. So the reason that I chose to repot this plant is because I was worried that because he wasn't in a terracotta pot, he wasn't getting enough drainage. And I think that I was correct because this soil is a lot more moist than I'm really comfortable with for this plant. I don't think he was suffering too much because he's got a couple of aerial roots here. Just all the little brown strings that are hanging off of the leaves are aerial roots. That's not, or adventitious roots. I've heard both, and I'm not sure what the difference is. But given that he has them, it means that he's got energy to spare, and he's relatively happy, so I can't be too upset with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the pot up to a little bit below where the root ball is going to be. Oh wow. Oh, I forgot I had two plants in here. This guy was my aunt's plant, but it wasn't doing well, so she gave it to me. And it's doing a little bit better. It's only got one stem though, so I don't know what's up with that. So I'm just taking some of the basic potting mixture, putting it in the bottom. This one
drains reasonably well, so I think that it'll be fine, especially with the addition of the terracotta pot. I am a little bit nervous about it though, not gonna lie, because this is technically a succulent. I don't always treat it like a succulent, but it's a succulent. So I think I have enough space for this plant to go in. Oops. They're gonna go together, they're buddies. Just backfilling this now, which is just like I'm filling the gaps between the root ball and the sides of the pot with dirt. I'm allowing the plants to be a little bit separated in there, but I also want them to just be like this really cool, awesome, full Christmas cactus, you know what I mean? Which sometimes means that you have to get two plants to snuggle and hope that they're cool with snuggling. It's just like people. Plants don't always like to snuggle. So given that I'm filming this outside, I really hope that you're getting some of those really nice bird calls in there. Because, I really like listening to birds in the back of YouTube videos. Makes me feel like I'm there. Now I've moved on to pretty much pure succulent potting mix. Because the stuff that I've got left of the standard potting mix is just really wet, and it really proves my point to myself, which is that the pot that I had it in was insufficient, and it was, given that it wasn't terracotta, because I really like terracotta pots. I think I've mentioned this before, but I really like terracotta pots because I feel like I can control how they drain really well. And that's really important to me. I need to make sure that the drainage is really good, because these are all houseplants, and one of the main killers of houseplants in my experience is overwatering. Either you completely forget about them for like 4 months, or you overwater the bejesus out of them and then they just die. Which is upsetting. I don't want my plants to die. Alright, I think I've got a good bit of space in here. I like to leave a little bit of space. I'm actually going to fill up a little bit more on that side. I like to leave a little bit of space because it means that when I water it at first, the water doesn't just roll over the sides as it does when you have like a really dry potting mixture. But it'll stay and like kind of percolate down, and it'll get to the roots, and it'll make sure that they receive enough nutrients. There's that guy repotted. He's a little off-center, but I'm hoping that I can maybe propagate some of these dead limbs that got kind of knocked off, because I've done it before, and it worked okay. Actually, I think I'm going to just snap these bad boys off and stick them right into the dry soil. This means that I don't want to re-water it for a couple weeks, but I think this guy's chilling. I think he's okay. That's also the great thing about using succulents, is that when stuff gets knocked off, because it inevitably will when you repot, you can just kind of stick the extras into the soil and they'll be absolutely fine. There we go, he's all done. The next plant that I'm going to repot is our mystery cactus. It looks like fingers. I don't actually know what type of cactus this is, but I know that I got it from the garden center literally this morning. Ooh, look at those roots. Now this guy's a little root bound. I don't know if I really want to break them apart too much, because cactus roots tend to be a little bit fragile. They also tend to be tap roots, so I don't know what this is. This guy also doesn't have any spines, which is nice because it means that I can handle him. I had a cactus once that had spines all over, and it made it really difficult to take care of. I think it ended up getting root rot, so I'm going to not repeat that experience and stick with cactuses that aren't trying to just fill me with spines. So first things first, I have my handy dandy bucket, which still has some soil from the other things that I've repotted. I'm gonna start with my succulent mix. I love that this smells like fresh, good earth. I love the smell of new potting soil. So the succulent mixture that was at the store today that I bought is exactly the same as the cactus mixture that was there, except for it lacked sand. So I'm just adding some sand. Given that it's meant for use around plants, I'm just gonna assume that it's okay. I'm not really too worried about the ratios here, because I think that just so long as I'm adding like a little bit of extra drainage, it's not going to be too much of an issue. I'm putting it in a terracotta pot. And I'm pretty good at keeping like succulents alive. Alright. That makes me happy. I really like succulent soil in particular because it just tends to be very light and airy, and it's really nice. But yes, I am a potting mix reuser, especially if a plant died of, like, being underwatered instead of being overwatered, because then it's not been exposed to rot, the potting mixture hasn't. The only thing for me, really, that I look out for when I'm reusing a potting mixture is I'm very cautious of, is the plant getting enough nutrients from the soil, and is there anything that can, like, infect the plant that's still in the soil? Most of the time that's no. I've had really good luck. I don't think that I've ever had, like, a really bad pest infestation in any of my plants. I think the closest thing that I got was, oh gosh, what are they called? Was fungus gnats. I got fungus gnats. I brought something in from outside. I didn't properly, like, vet it. I didn't put it in isolation. I didn't, put bleach on it. Something went wrong. And I just got fungus gnats, which was a tragedy because at the time I had seedlings, and fungus gnats really aren't too much of a threat to, like, fully grown plants. Like, this little guy would be fine. But I had seedlings, and fungus gnats kill seedlings because they eat their roots. Older plants can withstand that a little bit easier, but my seedlings just did not make it, and it was really sad. So anyway, that's this guy done. Like I said, I'm not going to put, like, actual soil cover on my cacti because it literally says that it retains moisture. How is that going to help me? I have cactuses. But this little guy looks very happy. I think he's going to be pretty happy. I'm going to water him later because he's a little wobbly, as you can see. And watering is just going to help compact the dirt a little bit, give him a little bit more traction. I also didn't put as much of a gap as I normally do. So hopefully, with a little bit of good water, that'll just compact everything down and make it a lot more stable for him. Because as you can see, he's wobbly fingers now. So next things next, I have my lithops. So this plant, or the place that I ordered this from, was super nice. I ordered 9 mini lithops. They gave me 12. So, like, some itty bitty baby lithops and, like, a slightly bigger boy. I had my eye on these for a really long time, actually, before this. And I just, as soon as I found, like, the listing for them, I was like, okay, those are mine now. They're mine. Thank you. Which is very nice. So I'm just going to fill up the bottom of this with my sand and succulent mixture. Because, remember, it's basically a cactus mixture because it has everything the cactus mix had, but it also has sand. Which is nice. Okay, that's too much. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to put this big guy straight in the middle and put the others, like, in a cool little ring around him. So I'm going to see how that goes.
just had to separate these two. They were stuck together, kind of like this. They're so cute. I'm so scared of hurting them. But this means that I have 2 more to repot. This is my progress so far. I was originally going to do kind of like a clock thing, but I think these are a little bit too challenging to like repot in that way, and plus it wouldn't really be my aesthetic, so they're going a little random right now, which is okay. So now I'm just adding a little bit more soil on top just to fill in kind of the spots where it's lower. And hopefully the soil that I've put in is good enough like protection from the elements, because I know that with lithops, right now this isn't actually their growing season. Their growing season is in the winter, which is the opposite of what most plants do. But given that their environment, their natural environment is so dry, they do all their growing in the winter when it's raining. And it's nice. Because in the summer it's hot and they don't want to do anything. They're a little scattered, they're a little funky, but I think they're going to be pretty happy with this arrangement. I was thinking of maybe putting rocks on, or maybe like a little bit of sand cover. Let me do that quick. So given that we're during the summer, I'm not going to water these guys. Normally after repotting, you should always water immediately. But this isn't their growing season, and they're not going to appreciate any water right now. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and a comment. If you have anything else to suggest, I would love to hear it, and I will see you guys next time.